be right now without US weapons? How much of their country would they have lost?
Without that sort of aid, I think Ukraine would have been probably overrun, defeated, certainly would have lost a lot more.
Lieutenant General Ben Hodges served as the commander of the US Army in Europe. He retired in 2017 and is now an advisor to NATO. Hodges told us the Biden administration has failed to explain to Americans what they're getting for their dollar in Ukraine.
If you think about it, Russia has been for decades and still is an existential threat for Europe and the United States. I mean, just listen to what their leaders say. Look at the thousands of nuclear weapons. They clearly will keep going if they're not stopped.
It sounds like you're saying stopping Vladimir Putin in Ukraine directly benefits every American.
Absolutely. This war is about so much more than just Ukraine.
Where would the
I don't like the fact that America is bearing the brunt and the burden of financing most of the war against Putin in Ukraine. I think we agree on that part. Why isn't Europe, why don't they ever step up and defend their own continent before they ask for U.S. involvement? And why would Joe Biden veto Poland giving Zelensky fighter jets to actually fight to win the war after they were invaded?
Well, the more disturbing thing is that on two occasions, the Russians tried to sign a peace agreement with Zelensky.
Do you trust Putin?
Do I trust Putin? No, but that's not. Listen, I've litigated over 500 lawsuits. All of them end up with, or many of them end up with settlements or one kind or the other. And he never trusts the guy on the other side. You use language art, and you use the design of agreements.
So Ukraine, to appease Putin, who I think is evil, they've already given up Crimea. It was annexed. So what? They have to give up the Donbass area.
The Ukraine, because of our pushing the Ukraine into the war on two occasions,
we pushed them into it, or the Putin?
Well, let me answer your question. Yeah. In 2019, France, Germany, and Russia all agreed to the Minsk Accords. That year, Zelensky ran for president. He was a comedian. He had no political experience. Why did he win? Because he ran on one issue, signing the Minsk Accords. As soon as he got in there, Victoria Nuland in the White House told him he couldn't do it. That Putin sends 40,000 troops in. That's not enough to conquer the country. Clearly, he wanted us to come to the negotiation. He wanted somebody to come to the negotiating table. Zelensky came to the negotiating table, signed a new agreement that was the Minsk Accords 2 in 2022, and that would have allowed Donbass to stay, and Lugansk to remain as part of Ukraine. We said Putin signed it, Zelensky initialed it, and Putin, in good faith, began withdrawing troops from the Ukraine. What happened? We sent Boris Johnson over there to torpedo it, because we don't want peace we want the war with Russia.
Why are you blaming America's role in this? And look, Putin to me is an evil, murdering dictator thug, and when he leaves this earth, nobody's going to miss him. Let's be honest. However, I think that Europe has a responsibility to protect their continent, and yet it always seems to fall on the United States. Joe Biden has committed all these billions of dollars that we can't afford, and he's not fighting the war to win the war. I don't believe in fighting wars half-assed. If you're going to fight a war, you go in, overwhelming force, you beat them, you get the hell out. That's it, and only if it's provoked. Putin did not need to invade a sovereign country, in my view. Is Zelensky perfect? Nope. I don't think he is either. I agree with you on that part. But America's role, I think, should be dictated first by Europe. And they've got to defend their continent. And they haven't stepped up, in my view.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think most of the European countries wanted the war either. It's clear what happened, which is that, from the beginning, we promised in 1992, the Russian leadership said, we will move, this was Gorbachev, said when the Soviet Union, he was getting ready to dismantle the Soviet Union, and he said, we're going to withdraw 400,000 troops from East Germany. And we're going to allow you to reunite Germany under NATO, which was a hostile army. That's a huge concession for them. The one commitment that we want, is what the Russians said, is that you will not move NATO to the east. James Baker, who was then Secretary of State under Bush, famously promised, we will not move NATO 1 inch to the east. Well, since then, we've moved it 1,000 miles in 14 countries. Now, when we started that plan in 1997, Bill Perry, who was the Secretary of Defense under Clinton, said to the Clinton administration, if you move NATO to the east, I'm resigning because you are forcing the Russians to come to war with us. George Kennan was the most important diplomat in American history, the architect of the containment policy during World War II, said the same thing. You do not need to make an enemy out of Russia. Russia should be treated the way we won the Cold War.
It gets complicated. Let me ask you a question. China's been showing nothing but hostility. COVID, intellectual property theft, unfair trade practices. They've been confronting our Navy ships in international waterways. They've been confronting our fighter jets in international airways. They had the spy drone go fly all around the country, and no, Joe didn't shoot it down. They threatened to shoot hypersonic missiles at the U.S. They're threatening to take out Taiwan and take over Taiwan. They call it reunification. If you're president, would you come to the defense of Taiwan, our ally?
No presidential candidate with any prudence would answer that question. Our policy towards Taiwan is strategic ambiguity, and that makes a lot of sense. You don't want to project your enemy what you're going to do in a certain case, or embolden your friends to go to war thinking that you're going to support them. So that's been our policy, and it's a sensible
policy. Do you see China as our top geopolitical foe? They're also trying to undermine the U.S. dollar.
Yes.
You do.
Yeah, and that's why that's another reason why the war in Ukraine is insane, because we have pushed China into
Donald Trump said he can resolve the issue. Do you think you can create a peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia?
I think we have to. There's no choice. Russia's not going to lose this war. Russia can't afford this. Would be like us losing a war to Mexico. They are not going to lose the war. Go look at what Russia did in Stalingrad in order to preserve its territorial integrity. Russia's been invaded 3 times through the Ukraine. Russia's been invaded 3 times through the Ukraine. The last time, Hitler killed 1 out of every 7 Russians. They're 400 miles from Moscow. We already have Aegis missile systems within 12 minutes of Moscow. We wouldn't tolerate that if the Russians did it in 1962 when they put them in Cuba. My uncle was going to invade if they.
I want to talk a little bit about your background growing up, your uncle as president, what happened to him, what happened to your dad. He was the Attorney General, and what you think about how those things happen. More with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Hannity continues.
So have you guys heard that America is laying out the groundwork and writing up a bill to reinstitute the draft for young men? So, of course, we know that they've intentionally made the military conditions so unbearable and so unjust that people are like, I ain't gonna join that. And so, of course, there's not enough people to be in the military in case of war or anything. So what's happening is they are trying to reinstitute the draft bill so that when war pops off, you know, they're going to have somebody to fight. Because ain't nobody in the military. Don't nobody want to do that. So what y'all finna do? I'm just asking, because I'm not going. I don't know about you guys. I just don't think that that's going to work for this generation. I feel like there ain't enough prison cells in America to keep all the AWOLers. There ain't enough FEMA camps on Earth to keep all the AWOLers. Like, we ain't going. Not we. Y'all ain't going. I'm already not going because, you know, I'm a woman and I'm a single parent. But, yeah. What y'all finna do? Are y'all gonna go? Are y'all gonna fight for your country? No, it's a real question. I'm for real. And if y'all don't go, what y'all finna do? Like, where you finna go? And to be in the military. It's probably going to be up to like 40, 45, something like that. Baby, the plan of the devil is to steal, kill, and destroy. And with the draft, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because they already here. They already here, y'all. They done let them invade. So...
First of all praises to the Father Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakadash. Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters in recognition to observing this day for worshiping the Most High. Sundown this evening to sundown tomorrow evening. Let's get some rest, worship, and praises in to the Most High like He said we are to do in these end times. And show Him how much we love Him and appreciate Him, because He's definitely worthy of such. And we need Him in these end times. As you can see, the scriptures are fulfilling themselves at epic proportions. Okay? At this point, for anyone that does not believe in the Holy Bible, the word of the Most High, you are done. You are lost. Because that Bible is on point. As you can see, America is threatening war, going to war with Russia, and not only Russia but China as well, because China and Russia are basically allies, okay? And that's just what it is. And America, you know what I mean, they pushing it because, well, they want to be the big boy on the block, you know, and they're losing their grip on the rest of the nations that they have been ruling. People are just starting to just say the hell away with America. And that's just what it is, you know. And while they're going to do these things, they will more than likely push for reinstating the draft. And as for the sister right here, hey, you're not off limits. You're not off limits. Because why? They have women in the military as it is. So therefore, there will not be only men, young men being drafted, but also young ladies too. That's just what it is, you understand. But my message here today is to those ones that want to go and fight the devil's war, which will be the war of wars. Okay, there will be this, after this it will be no more wars. It will be Armageddon, the Most High coming to destroy, period. The armies, all armies of the world, period. You understand? But this last war right here, World War III, will be the war that leads up to that, you know. But there's going to be a draft. You understand? And hey, my message, like I was saying, is to these would-be ones that want to participate in this particular last war. Don't do it. But it's up to you. I mean, everybody make their own choices, but especially our people. I don't care what you got to do to avoid this. Do it. Because the Most High has declared in His word what He's going to do to the Northern Army. Okay? The Northern Army. That will be America. Okay? And it's not pretty. So without further ado, let's go over here in Matthew, get the lesson going here. 24 verse 6. And it reads, and it's in red, that means Yahweh Shai Himself is speaking. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay? The end is not yet. But the thing is now, these rumors have become reality. You know, speaking on the latest one with Russia and Ukraine. And America has put their foot into something that the American tax dollars, which we're funding. We are funding this war, whether we want to or not. See, they got a ugly way of making us do things that we have no choice of doing. This is where our money is going. This is what happens, when you go to the grocery store, overpriced food, overpriced gas, utilities, everything. It's because of America sticking their nose into something that really has nothing to do with it, but they have interest in this particular war. This is what the funding of Ukraine is all about, you see. Now, to go here in Joel 3:12, and it reads, "Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen around and about." Okay? Let's read this entire chapter here. Starting in verse 9 of Joel 3. "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round and about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe." That sickle that the Most High is talking about is the sickle of death. The harvest is ripe because the sins that this world, that's coming up to the Most High, it's just overripe. You want to know the truth about it. And he's finna put the smackdown on this planet to continue. "Come get ye down, for the press is full, the fats overflow." That's sin. "For their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining." Okay? It's finna get bad, y'all. You understand what I'm saying? It is finna get bad. You know how we've always seen war-torn countries over like Iraq and Iran, wherever over in that area of the Middle East, and you see where missiles done hit these places. Well, you can even look at Ukraine now, and you see where missiles have destroyed these buildings and bodies, of dead folks laying out on the road, all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? Guess what? That same thing is coming to America, people. This is just what it is, and we need to prepare for that. The only way we can prepare for that is to repent to the Most High by Hashem, Yahushai, our Savior. Because if you don't, you're going to get caught up in this right here. You see? Because just like over in Matthew 24, I just read that part about hearing the wars, hearing the rumors of wars and whatever. But there's going to be famines, pestilence, and all that kind of stuff as well. You see? We have to prepare, and the only way to prepare is to repent and ask and pray to the Most High that He save us from this thing right here. Because that's just what it is. Let's go over in Jeremiah 50. And it says here, we're going to start this up here. 50:41. "Behold, a people should come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth." Okay? The star here in verse 38, Jeremiah 50. "A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. As Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities, therefore, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. Okay? Now, in modern times, a bow and a lance, a bow is like a bow and arrow, for example, and a lance is like a spear. Well, in modern times, those are weapons of war, which you see with tanks, AR-15s, and swords and stuff like that. Okay? That's what it is. They're talking about war here in the end times. It goes on to say here, listen to this. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. Who do you think Babylon is in this day and age? Spiritual Babylon. I can tell you who it is. It's America. This is the devil's seat over here. This is anything you want to do, any kind of immoral thing, well, they make a way for you to do it. You understand? Men becoming women and women becoming men. You understand? The sacrifices of innocent children, babies. Need not go on. Let's continue. Verse 43. The king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan unto the habitation of the strong. But I will make them suddenly run away from her, and who is a chosen man, that I may appoint over her. Question. For who is like me? Question. And who will appoint me the time? Question. And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Okay? This is the Most High talking. Nobody appoints him. Nobody's like him. You understand? The shepherd is Yahweh Shai. Okay? That mighty counselor. The one that the Most High sent, that said his name will be in him. Okay? Now go over here in Joel 2 verse 20. And it reads, But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the sea, with his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things. This is the message to the northern army. You understand? He's done great things. He's going to be destroyed. That's just what it is. He's going to be destroyed. That was my message basically to the northern army. If you have anybody that's talking about going into the service, your sons, your daughters, you may want to talk to him about it. You understand? And tell him, don't do it. Because the Most High is not going to relent when it comes down to destroying the enemy. You understand? Whoever is with the enemy, his enemy, is going to be destroyed with the enemy, whether you be Israel or not. And that's just what it is, people. That's what it is. That's all I got on this particular lesson right here. I hope you guys found this lesson edifying. And I hope I said something to stimulate spiritual growth. People, please remember to live your life as though we're being watched, simply because we are. All praises to the Father Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakadash. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.